telling from the book of Acts. When the day of Pentecost had come, all of the disciples were gathered together in one place. And suddenly, from heaven, there came a sound like the rush of a violent wind, and it filled the entire house in which they were sitting. Divided tongues like fire appeared among them, and a tongue rested on each one of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other languages as the Spirit gave them ability. Now there were devout Jews from every nation under heaven living in Jerusalem, and at this sound a crowd gathered and was bewildered because each one of them heard them speaking in the native languages of each. Amazed and astonished, they asked, "Aren't all those who are speaking Galileans? Well, how is it that we hear, each of us, in our own native languages? Parthians, Medes, Elamites, residents of Mesopotamia, Judea, Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt, and the parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene. There are visitors from Rome, both Jews and converts to Judaism, Cretans and Arabs. In our own languages, we hear them speaking about God's deeds of power." All were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?" But others sneered, "They're just drunk." Then Peter stood up with the 11 and raised his voice and addressed the crowd, saying, "Fellow Jews and all of you who live in Jerusalem, let me explain this to you. Listen carefully to what I have to say. These people aren't drunk, as you suppose. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning. This is what was spoken of by the prophet Joel. In the last days, says God, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions, and your old men will dream dreams. Even on my slaves, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit, and they will prophesy. I will show wonders in the heavens above and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and billows of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. And everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved." In this is the word of the Lord.